Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
Hi, Sunny. Hi, how are you?
We're fine. How are you?
I've had better days, but yes, welcome, everyone here that is already in the chat.
Thank
Um,
you all for coming.
yes, I see here No More Lies and Barakana and Shabaka. Let's see here. Yay. So,
Yay.
yeah, we have some of our regulars here in the chat. So, before we begin, as always, I'd like to go ahead and ring the meditation singing bowl to clear our energies, and let's just get right into today's topic.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So what time is it out there? It's
It is 4:13
okay. So the full moon is exact at out on the west coast at 8:08 p.m.
today.
Yes, 11:08 on the east coast p.m. Yeah. So we're right. We're right on into it, aren't we?
Yeah, so by the time we finish, we'll be into the moon energy.
Yeah. Probably kind of already feeling it, don't you think?
Yeah, like I said before we got on live, I'm feeling kind of dumpy. Yeah, I'm not gonna fake it, but yeah. Maybe you could shed some
We're
light on this
laughing.
energy.
Laughing. Yeah. So
Shabaka said super cloudy day.
yeah, it's been really drizzly and cold around here for a couple of days. It kind of doesn't help, does it?
No, Milika was like something positive. Okay, well, oh, I hope so. Shoot.
Well,
All
it's
right, so yeah,
about perspective, right?
yeah. So let's get right into it and tell us
Yeah.
what's going on with this moon energy.
So we are extending pretty much November's energy of planets that have been retrograde a while going direct and changing signs. So we have a full moon in Gemini tonight, and Gemini represents the twins. This is a twin flame channel. So my blog on lionmountainhealing.com addressed twin flame mythology a bit. And I was telling you before we came on that uh, the whole combination of the, let's see, we have December 3rd, Neptune went direct. It was squaring Venus in Sagittarius. Mars is in Gemini along with this full moon. And then the full moon is making a positive aspect to Saturn. So we have, and Mercury rules Gemini. So we have Mercury, Venus, and Mars, which are all close to the Earth. We call them personal planets. So we tend to respond to them more than the outer lying planets like Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn. So that energy is a push me, pull me. You may feel pulled in a lot of different directions. Saturn, a trine to Saturn is positive for finally learning a lesson of some sort, emotional maturity. You may find a mentor or partner that helps you finish some kind of project, or things that have been languishing over the months while a lot of planets have been retrograde. So now we're more in direct energy. When we get into a Sagittarius, about the middle of the 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. That's fire. So right now we're in Scorpio, which is that brooding, dark, mysterious, somewhat reclusive type of energy. And so you were saying you were feeling kind of dark, and the combination of Venus and Mars there with the full moon is pretty much primed for being triggered, getting triggered, having arguments, being argumentative. And so I'd like to I would like to impress upon anyone who finds depression or misery in the twin flame journey to consider turning it around in a lot of different angles and having different perspectives. Gemini, ruled by Mercury, is all about gathering information, disseminating information. And in my humble opinion, and this is where people might get triggered, but I just got to say what I feel. I don't think the twin flame journey is about a romantic involvement with another person. I think it's really about self-discovery. It's about healing old wounds. It's about purging karma of many lifetimes. It's not that romantic fairy tale sweep off your feet thing that it often gets spun to be. That's my opinion. There may be scholars out there that have information that completely contradict what I was saying. My personal experience has not been that it was anything at all romantic or something I want. It was difficult. It brought up feelings of betrayal, distrust, negative things that I've dealt with, and many of us have dealt with all our lives. So, the whole triggering of Gemini is to bring up things for us to analyze. Mercury, which is how our mind works, analyze what is it really that's getting to us? What is that, like tip of the poison dart? You feel triggered, you feel hurt, you feel like you want to, blame it on someone else or project something from your past onto someone else, when all of us are going through our lives in these meat suits in a very chaotic plane of energy, trying to do the best we can. Mm-hmm. So I think the Gemini full moon is a whole lot about, get real with yourself. What is it that you're really pissed off about? Whoever that person is that initiated this journey for you, or, you were pining over someone or felt rejected by someone and come across twin flame YouTube videos and people. I think every culture probably has a little different spin on what the story is. And it's interesting to go out there and, read them all, process it all, figure out what works for you. Maybe you are in a wonderfully fairy tale relationship with someone you feel a soul tie or connected to. And that's wonderful. I don't think you'd be watching these videos, but
especially my channel.
Yeah. So there you go. What I think is frustrating on a spiritual journey is that, and as readers, that going along with people to say what they want to hear is not necessarily the spiritual healing. Mm-hmm. And people are judged and, followed or unfollowed by the fact that they say what you wanted to hear. That's right. Where I get frustrated. To me, this body of information is anything but a bed of roses. It's a bed of thorns. The hardest part is to come into forgiveness towards whoever triggered you, or if there are more than one. There's one psychic out there that believes we have many twin flames, and they can go from body to body. So there's a lot of different philosophies, and I'm not here to say one is right or the other. What I am here to say is these energies are a time to get personal with yourself get down to the root of the emotion that has you feeling depressed or upset or anxious. And don't be afraid to sit with it and feel it. You know, we tend to get really hurried in our life and busy so that we don't have to deal with things that are uncomfortable. And I think one of the big lessons for 2022 is to sit with your pain, sit with the thing that has you unhappy or upset, and sit with it till it goes away, and not like distract yourself with a lot of, you know, sort of superficial activities. You've got shopaholics, gamblers, sex addicts, drug problems. I mean, these are all modems that keep us from dealing with the root of the problem. And
Mhm.
these energies are about getting to the root of the problem. And that can be, you know, people can get pissed off about that. You know, it's like, so that's probably the worst I can say right there is just,
That was nothing, honey.
well, it could be a lot worse. I'm just trying to be nice. You know, we're coming into
Okay.
the end of the year, and, you know, we want people to watch and be involved, but we also want to be honest and realistic. And that's
Right.
the balance that we try to strike, you know. And, um, you know, it's interesting how everyone is on a different part of the path, and everyone has to come to their own conclusions. Readers and psychics and those of us that have been in the metaphysical world and done readings for a long, long time, you start to see a pattern in people, and it helps. It has helped me anyway. You can speak to your own experience, but it has helped me see my own negativity or my own patterns, right? Because misery loves company. And one thing that I think is really important from these last, really goes back to the Pluto conjunction of 2019. And we are through the worst of it. We're coming out of it, but there's a lot of fallout from that. Pluto destroys, right? So we're in this rubble. We're trying to figure out how to rebuild our value systems, you know, what we want in life, or a job or a relationship. These are all serious life subjects, you know, and you don't get to just go blow it off. And if you do, you're going to go around the corner and just meet that same pattern again.
Right.
Um, you know, I've had clients over the years that, you know, year after year after year, it'll be the same thing, different person. And, you know, it gets to a point where, and it's gotten to that point for me where I can't sugarcoat it with someone. If I see something, I spoke to it with our last live about, you know, someone just working the system to gain, um, you know, to gain for what, you know, just use people or use something instead of, I think it's these 2 or 3 years have been about, if you're unhappy, if you're miserable, if you're depressed, you need to sit with it and feel it,
Mhm.
because it doesn't go away and it's miserable. It's about being discontent. It's about being, you know, all the negative emotions, mad, smad, you know, the anger element. And so as we come into a new year and changing of signs in the outer planets come like March 2023, it's a whole new world. And we can either choose to stick with the same old pattern, or, you know, be open to the new thing in your life. Like, you know, I don't know if anyone can relate to purging physical things. You know, you might be cleaning out a cabinet of paper or closet of clothes or a garden bed of weeds, whatever purging manifest for you. It's unsettling. And Gemini rules the nervous system. It rules this part of the body, the shoulders, the lungs, the arms. So something about lung issues with bronchitis or asthma, because it seems like with COVID, it being a respiratory uh, type of manifestation and involves the lungs, the emotion for lungs is feeling a fear of living fully. And, you know, when you really think about that, we are all guilty, I believe, of living for other people to make other people happy at the denial of our own happiness. Like, you know, maybe you have a wild hair to go and, you know, travel Europe, you know, and you've got your family and your friends all telling you, no, no, you need to stay here and have that job and be responsible. So you do that year after year after year in your life. And this is the point where we hit a wall. You know, any of those patterns that have been keeping us from being our true expression of our energy are going to be mirrored to us. And it's really hard to look at someone, whether it's a close family person or a close friend that's like family, and number one, know that they've betrayed you, and number two, forgive them for it. And that's where we are, is coming into the discontent and acceptance of whatever place that is for us in terms of circumstance. It could be, you know, it could be mainly, it's going to be with Gemini, things from our childhood past or our family and friends and neighbors. That's the area that, you know, those are the type of energies represented by Gemini. The archetype of the Gemini energy, the twins, is the always searching for the lost twin. So before I ever, you know, stumbled onto any twin flame kind of information, I have two Gemini brothers. One's deceased now, but all growing up, I had these two Gemini brothers born about 8 days apart, 18 months apart. So pretty close in age. And they were like night and day, literally. But also the way you saw them live their life and express Gemini is that searching. There's always that element of um, seeking, seeking knowledge, seeking a person. And in the meantime, while Gemini is seeking and searching, they come across information they disseminate to others. Geminis are great matchmakers, right? Because they're going through can be very social and very intelligent and come across many different types of people and hook people together, whether it's for like a joint venture project or, you know, dating, whatever. But this is the network of nervous system. Okay. That energy and the synapses firing and ideas, and it's very quick and it's very fickle and it's very changeable. So while we're all here feeling the fallout of, you know, having everything that we felt was stable sort of thrown up in the air with Pluto transits and Saturn and Uranus, because don't forget, you know, with Uranus, we've had the Earth actually revolting, you know, with floods and earthquakes and, you know, natural disaster energies. So, you know, I get this image of you're on one of those skateboards trying to keep your balance, you know, on one of those obstacle courses, and there's an earthquake. So you're already in a pretty shaky area, and then there's the third element of, you know, the ground below you shaking. Now, what does that do? Well, Saturn would tell you it has you mature emotionally. And that's another part of the little boy or girl inside of all of us. We don't want to grow up. We don't want to take responsibility. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's that certain fairy tale of Peter Pan and never being a grown up. And so when Saturn is doing some pretty major aspects on you for 2 or 3 years, and then whatever else you may have going on in your chart, it can make you feel restricted. It can make you file bankruptcy. It can make you, you know, literally get people out of your life. So these are very, what I would call grown up, mature energies. And depending on how willing we are to be open to what the universe would roll out in front of us, will determine what degree our mood might be in. And so, one thing that, you know, I can definitively say that is a great practice and anecdote is wherever you are with your mood or your life, be there. You know, it could be a negative health diagnosis, it could be the loss of a job or the loss of a loved one, but sit there and be there and feel it, because that's the only way you're ever going to transmute it into something positive, because the nature of energy is there's positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
And with, just like, you know, in science with batteries, you cannot put two positive charges together. It
Mm-hmm.
does not work that way. You have to reverse a polarity and then the magnet comes together. I feel that in life and relationships, that dynamic applies. The more you think you want something or someone or something, or you feel like you've got to control something, you're just keeping it at bay. As soon as you detach and you just accept where you are, then, you know, better things come. And it's like the parents that, you know, their son or daughter is dating someone that they can't stand, and the parents are always nagging on the child about, you know, they're no good for you, and you shouldn't see them. Well, what does that make the child do but get any, even closer to that
Yeah,
person?
they'll want to stay with that person.
As soon as I've tried to tell several of my friends this that are in that scenario, I'm like, just detach, just leave it alone, be busy doing something else,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes care of itself. There's something about childhood trauma and emotional pain that the need to control is very strong. And when
Mm-hmm.
we talk about Scorpio, Scorpio by itself is a fixed water sign. It likes to control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, you could go into psychology a little bit about that, that if you've been abused as a child or in an adult relationship been abused, controlling something makes you feel like you have some sense of stability or some sense of you can get your arms around it, even if it might be negative, but that's some kind of self-defense or self-preservation
Mm-hmm.
type of energy. And so now, No More Lies just said something. I don't have Gemini in my chart. Everybody has every energy in their chart, because when you were born, those planets don't stay the same. They're moving every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every year of your life. So where you start with a natal birth chart and you grow and live, it's progressed, right? So it progresses. So your natal birth chart, just because you don't have planets in a certain sign doesn't mean you don't experience those energies through your life. So when you get a reading with me, I take the natal birth chart, we progress it to the time of the reading, and we look at what's going on in the heavens at the time and how that aspects that natal and progress chart. So it's so much more layered and complex than you probably want to know, but it's just that point of these are very deep waters, deep emotions. We're not going to be able to like skate or skateboard, you know, across things. This is about the hiccups and people from the past resurfacing. It doesn't have to be bad. Um, you know, you might run into old coworkers and it's really great to see them, or, you know, something sometimes what I appreciate a lot is, you know, maybe someone from the past who's made a judgment on you, and then it comes around where you see them dealing with the same thing that you dealt with. I was unemployed, like, you know, earlier this year, and one of my old contacts who I'd reached out to, it was just like, oh, you must have done something wrong. You must have done something wrong. And I got my job. And she didn't reach out a couple of days ago. She's been laid off. So, we all have to be careful about how we judge others.
Oh, yeah, and be mindful of speech, because that's karma.
Right. And the twins, also brings in that theology of the mirror, right? Mm-hmm. When you meet someone and they get under your skin, or you can make a statement like, they're so messy or whatever. Well, you might be the messy one. Mm-hmm. Long time ago, this was a scenario around neighbors, and you'll see things happening here for a couple of weeks that do with neighbors, childhood friends. That's all Gemini. And I remember, it was a community, and the way ladies would sit around and gossip and chat, and everybody's got dirt in their house, but there's certain people that think their dirt's not as bad as your dirt, right? That's sort of judgment of, criticizing someone because you're just being shallow and hateful, instead of this energy brings out compassion, right? And so if you've sat with your, depression or gut punching information, and what keeps coming to my mind are things health related. There's been so much in our society for a couple of years about health conditions and concepts and things like that say, you're struck down by hearing that a loved one or close friend has stage 4 cancer, right? And they're going to go into hospice. That's a horrible, horrible place to be. But going out and drinking, or going out and shopping, or doing something to try to get your mind off of it, doesn't make it go away. And these energies are about, especially with Neptune going direct, to sit with it and feel it and allow it, cry it out, scream it out. Some people need a physical activity, like, basketball or bowling, or, something physical that they do. And, just remember that just physically, it's always good every day to have break a sweat. Even if you have to get under an electric blanket and sweat it out. Sweat in your chakra systems and your nervous systems is what heals, right? Because these emotional blockages that we carry within our grid are what keep us depressed, or keep us held back, or keep us judging. I think everybody can relate to, you have a friend where, they just like being down. They just like, nothing works. You can talk to your blue in the face about all the suggestions, and it's no. What do you do with that? At some point you've got to laugh, because they're their own worst enemy.
Right.
And, all of us might even have part of that in our own self. But these are really interesting times for feeding your mind. If there's a body of information that you've never studied. We were talking about order of signs, and people trying to understand the zodiac wheel. And right here under my hands, I do not have a good example. And I know I hate to say this, because I know I've been saying it, but the new year will bring more educational astrology for me. I'm sure of it. I was just telling Scorpio Moon, I've come through 9 weeks of Medicare open enrollment, which is brutal. Anybody that's in Medicare, has Medicare, or knows somebody that deals with Medicare, the fall open enrollment period is like a storm, and it's very tiring. And today is the last day, and it's over. Thank the good Lord. And so my point is learn something new. I have talked about this before about reinventing something from your past that you loved. Um, you don't have to do it exactly the same way. And there's a lot that you can do without taking money. And so, we tend to, and coming into the Scorpio season, that's all about self-sabotage. So we want to be careful about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a time for healing, but to heal you have to sit with your pain. You have to sit with that thing that's gotten to you, and but then you feel so much better. And I stumbled onto a really great job situation, and I keep thinking back about how did that come about. And that's why I keep saying, sit with where you are, because I think when I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, okay, well, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to have a couple of part-time jobs, I'm going to barely get by, and this is my row to hoe right now. And then something beautiful dropped in my lap with really kind people. And so I think you can apply that to any part of your life, whether it's a job or a relationship or a family problem. I work with a girl that, the kids that went through COVID, I'd say like between the ages of 10 and 15, I sure wouldn't want to be them right now, because they've had a psychological abuse that adults really can't relate to. And parents are having a lot of problems with their kids shut down emotionally because they've been isolated, and it's not natural. So it's always good when you are not feeling good to go help somebody, get your mind off of what's bothering you. And I know during my times of being out of work and not making ends meet, I'd still go and spend a lot of money on groceries and cook for other people. There's just something about accept where you are, no matter where it is, and then allow the energy to move on instead of trying to be out in front of it and think, well, that's the person, that's my person, I need that person, and then you get all frustrated because there was someone else, or they have a different preference sexually, maybe, or it's nothing that you've done or is in your control. So what's in your control is how can you enhance your vibration to manifest the situation that makes you, skip, or makes you smile, or makes you want to share your goodness with other people. And it's really hard when you're down and out and dealing with your own crap to think you could give or help anybody else. But that's exactly the thing we need to do. So
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of an ironic kind of energy. It's certainly very cagey. Air is that way. It's very hard to pin down. And so that's overall kind of the it's about asserting our self-worth, our boundaries, purging people, places, and things has to do with knowing what we're worth, being treated like or not. I think the most common thing in the twin flame journey that anyone that does readings hears is the pining over someone who's really been cruel to you, or rude, or discourteous,
I think that
based
was a realization that I had with my twin.
just
Yeah.
basic common courtesy, so then it becomes, and I can't tell you how many times I've asked someone this, it's like, why don't you think you deserve at least basic courtesy? What
Mm-hmm.
is, it's not them. This is about a mirror reflection in ourselves of what happened to us along the way, or what experiences have we held on to, or not purged, or not healed, that predicates that we should not be treated just kindly, I mean, so it's very deep. This is very deep psychological layers of many years. It could never be hung on just one person. I believe that that energy of that person is probably a replication of that vibration you've had many lifetimes.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's another common ground with twin flames, is everybody knows they've journeyed with that soul other lifetimes. And just because you journeyed with them in another lifetime doesn't mean those other lifetimes were necessarily positive, but it's that familiar feeling, like that, oh, that's familiar. Oh, you know, this is different. So,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean
I
that,
would say it's also very similar to even a soul connection.
yeah.
And that's why, the soulmates and the twin flames can get intermingled, and they could seem to feel familiar, and how do you discern, like, which is which? It really doesn't matter.
Well,
Nothing is.
another transition of this world over the last 3 years that we'll get more and more into are the dimensions. So, you know,
Mhm,
the three dimension of, you know, person A, person B, you know, and however they treat each other is one way. But now we're learning more and more and feeling about quantum physics and the power of the mind and
mhm,
light and electricity, and our bodies are, you know, 98% water, and how we can heal ourselves through light and vibration and energy.
mm,
So we're opening up. It's a different age. We're in the Aquarius, you know, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And in that transition period, there's a lot of fallout. There's a lot of discontent. You know, I think it's what was that thing about people are slowly quitting their jobs, you know, like they've learned that basically, you know, being a wage slave is not fulfilling. So they do just enough to keep a job, but, you know, trying to exploring more recreational activities so that they're just not working all the time. And it
mhm.
may mean doing with less. And, or that you just don't want. I mean, it gets to a point where you just don't need or want anything, you know, because it gets to be burdensome to take care of all your stuff.
Well, I think that my brother, he's a Pisces, and he's going to school to get his nursing license, and I think he wants to be an assistant to, like, a cardiologist, so he's, like, the one that
The
is in
heart
the.
person.
Yeah, he wants to, like, really work on the heart, and, I don't know, I think my brother's drama anyways, but he's very money driven. So, it's like, and he will work on holidays, he doesn't care, just as long as he has the money. So, I'm like, what are you doing other than trying to work? Like, he has a young daughter, and,
Yeah.
um, grandma and grandpa are gonna travel overseas.
Yeah.
So you were talking earlier, like, this is something that they've been planning to do forever and ever. And as you know, North Korea is, like, throwing out, nukes or whatever. And we don't know what the heck is going on over there, but they're going anyway.
You'll have to give us an up close and personal report.
Yeah, like, like, they're gonna let me know, like, how everything is going. And plus, she wanted to purchase, like, a retirement, well, kind of like a
Uh,
vacation home, like, in the country. It's not like in the city. It's more in the country where it's more laid back, and,
yeah.
and it's a slow-paced environment because she's originally from, like, a very farmy type community, and so,
Right. Going
uh
back to her roots.
yeah, like, I guess, she wants to revisit
It's a
memory
good
lane.
metaphor for these energies, you know, where we all are guilty of putting up fronts or doing things that don't necessarily satisfy us but other people. But this is about purging and getting back to our real self and our roots. You
Mhm.
know, I know I've come across a lot of women lately, it seems like, are just like, you know, enough with the worrying. If someone's faithful or going to be there, I'm good on my own. You know, I know, you know, at least you have a set of facts that, you know, and you're not out there, running around on the streets, seeing, seeing things you don't want to see, or, you know what I mean? Like people doing things that make you feel bad. But if we don't go looking for it, then we don't get that feeling bad look, right?
Right. I've noticed that life just goes on
It does.
regardless of like a pandemic, or
Yeah.
people are still like, seeing other people and like sneaking out in the house or trying to find a way to meet others. It's like, when
Well,
there's a will, there's a way, like
a cool thing that I feel about these last couple of years and the period we're moving into is authenticity, right? So, um, a lot of discussion about falsehoods, things that are false. Where we may have looked up to certain authorities before, the past couple of years have made us question authority. And I
Mhm.
think that's a good thing.
Well, it
I
was
think
clearly an abuse of power.
that, and, we all need to, what Saturn says to us is, how do you feel about the authority within you, right?
Mhm.
Everyone that's ever had a position somewhere, the more confident you feel about what you're doing, the better you are. When you're trying to do something you're really not into or feel, it's a struggle. So we're all trying to find our footing. And it might be like that twister game, left foot on green dot, right arm on red dot. I mean, it's like twister is all about being willing to go outside of our boundaries, being willing to go outside of what other people perceive our boundaries should be. And you can either look at it as scary, or you can look at it as exhilarating. So we really do pick and choose our daily mood. And with Gemini, it's very moody.
I've
You change your
noticed
mood
that.
within hours.
Like, one minute you're happy, next minute you're all pissed off, and you're like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Like
And
Ah.
Gemini is the trickster.
Mhm.
And so finding your sense of humor is important. My Gemini brothers were always pranking each other, always. That's part of their nature. So I think the lesson for us to learn from Gemini energy is to keep our sense of humor. If you see somebody, like, I get a vision of somebody at a gas pump really pissed off because the gas pump's not working, or the card's not working on the gas pump, or the price of the gas, whatever. They've got veins bulging out of their neck and they're all red faced, just pissed off. Okay, well, I don't know. I think that to get that pissed off about something's kind of funny. It's
Mhm.
something else under that, my point. I mean, there's a deeper issue there than that freaking gas pump. You know what I mean? But the gas pump just happened to get the wrath of somebody's bad mood or bad feeling. And that's where this energy is about, us figuring that out. It's not the thing itself. It's not the person.
Right.
What's it
I mean, I have a
triggering?
good analogy about that because I think I told you about the whole situation with that happened with me last week, where I had the triple threat.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna really go into it here on the live, but
but it was
you know,
challenging, to
like,
say the least.
exactly. Like, at the end result, it was because of maybe it was because of events that happened days prior, but it could have been an underlying issue for all this time, but it took a level of
Combination
something
of things.
to,
Yeah.
like, blow it up to the point where you can't take it no more, and somebody's on the receiving end of, that person's anger, and
Oh,
so
well, and this energy is all about seeing people melt down. You know,
yay.
it is. I mean, Gemini is the nervous system. We have Venus and
Is that
Mars
why,
and
like,
Saturn.
my throat was, like, feeling weird today when I was telling you before we went live? It was like I wasn't feeling that earlier until I had my coffee, and then it progressed to like something worse. Maybe we're at the crescendo of the peak of the full moon, but
Definitely, we're in a crescendo for the end of the year for sure.
mm,
And so you can reflect back on the last, 6 weeks or so, maybe even go back to September and look how well you did. You survived, right? Might have
mhm,
been hard in the moment, but then we're able to laugh about it afterwards, right? So you can be in the heat of a moment, really stressed out, having a hard time, and but then it changes. The energy changes. It moves on. So that's where we're at. Is we have to allow those wounds and hurts and perceptions move on. They
mhm,
don't serve us. That person who betrayed you or was mean or rude is not sitting there worried one iota about they were mean or rude to you. And
mhm.
that's not a fun reality. You'd like to think anybody that's ever betrayed you feels some semblance of responsibility, but I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't think they do. I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody take responsibility for betraying a trust. So, we get all gnarled up about it,
Mhm.
and I maybe that's part of the spiritual journey is to delve into these difficult emotions and be willing to come here and talk about them and share and assure everyone that it never stays the same wherever you are. um, say you broke up with someone, say you thought you were in the relationship that was going well a couple of years, and you thought you found your person, you're with your person, and then the table turns over and you find yourself seeing a different side or seeing a different angle or meeting someone. That happens too. Maybe you met somebody and realized, well, the person I've been with all these years isn't really what I thought. So all of this is human. It's human nature, it's human emotions, and these energies are about feeling them authentically, right? Don't deny yourself the feeling of I'm pissed off or I'm upset, and sit with it, and you'll be amazed at how it transmutes. If you don't have to do anything at all, it will change.
Now just take you a salt bath or with
Yeah,
one of my bath bombs now.
yeah, absolutely. Break a sweat.
Yeah. There was a couple of points that you had mentioned so far that today I did 3 readings and it was for the air signs, and that was what I got for the Gemini. For the Gemini, it was about an older mother or father figure, and Gemini is sitting here in despair. They don't know what to do, and
Mm,
they have to pick sides. They're like, whose side do they choose? Is it the father figure who says, hey, you need to go ahead and do something? You can't just sit around and do nothing. Whereas the mother figure was like, no, it'll be all right. Everything is going to be okay.
so
And
passive aggressive.
yeah, and so it was like this push and pull energy that I got from Gemini, and it's like, what do they choose? And the spiritual guidance was, it doesn't matter what you choose, you're gonna learn from it anyways. So you can't go wrong.
That's
It just it depends on how you want to, go through it.
right.
So yeah. But there was a couple other things that you were talking about that I picked up on in the other readings, like for Aquarius and Libra. But yeah, it's just one of the,
Interesting, isn't it?
yeah, it was. I just did those readings today, so I had no idea about the whole Gemini aspects of their energies, and so it was kind of weird how I actually saw that earlier on today. So yeah.
Well, a long time ago, a psychic told me to take notes on people in life, to take notes. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really ever know what that meant. Still don't really. But I was searching for, I have some bathroom fixtures that are broken, and I'm trying to find the information about them to see if I can find a repair part, right? And they're pretty old. So I go digging through some old files because I usually am pretty good about keeping things that I spent money on for the house.
Mm-hmm.
I found part of it. I didn't find another part. But in the meantime, I found this whole notebook of like 2 years of activity at a job, right? Names, scenarios, numbers. And I was fascinated, looking through it. I don't remember a whole lot, but that woman came to my mind about take notes on people. So where I'm going with that is Gemini is the storyteller. So whatever you're going through, and especially if it's challenging, keep some notes. You never know. Sometimes you can have an epiphany just to hear yourself say something. You're telling a friend something that happened to you, and there's something very cathartic about hearing your voice say that thing or whatever, and then it's gone. And that's what we're all working on, is healing those old wounds and trying to find peace and contentment right where we are. And that's hard to do when right where you are might be really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that if you can just bear through it, it actually gets rid of it. So, one of my affirmations has been, be willing to release the thing that blocks good things to come to you, right? Because I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I can't tell you how many times I've sabotaged myself in different scenarios in life. And there's something to be said about, be watchful of your responses. Like if the universe is trying to give you a gift or do something for you that's a genuine desire, don't knock it away. Don't think, oh, well, that's new, or I'm not used to that. Try it. You might like it. That's the energy is Gemini is very changeable and
Mutable.
circulating information and
Mm-hmm.
intellectual. So, when you are feeling really down or out about something, pick up a book, do something that changes the energy and the perspective you're looking at.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that's a good point I'm seeing in the chat about, um, having a healthy relationship with self has shown me that I can overcome anything. And that's about resilience. And that's what I mean about, if you reflect over the last couple of years and where you are now, you'll find you've been very resilient, and there's a lot to be said for that. So then when you hit another wall and think, oh gosh, this is a bummer, that memory of, you were resilient and survived whatever that was, gives you the extra confidence that, I've got this. I can do that too. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a really good time to just keep it real with yourself and other people. Um, Here in America with Christmas, it's difficult because it's real superficial. So if you're trying to keep it real or be real, and there's all this sort of extra vibration of energy of, sort of a forced ho, ho, ho.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a disconnect. And I was in the hallway recently, and this man was talking about, oh God, I want to carefully choose my words. There are ancient documents that would question the date we've chosen for Christmas, or
Mm-hmm.
even the beginnings of it, right? Now, society basically brushes all that over and goes through the routines and the expectations and keep everybody happy. But, every once in a while you come across somebody that's like, it's a sham. right? And so it's kind of refreshing because I've not been a Christmassy person for a real long time. And I'm very bothered by how superficial it can be, but that doesn't bother anybody, you know? So it's like this battle I have within myself because I'm really not into it. And anyway, and he said something about, you know, I don't get into Christmas. That's a woman thing and women like it, but I just don't, I just don't think it is what it is. And, I was so refreshed to hear that. I was like, yeah, it's a sham, If you look back in the history of how they even chose that date, it's not real. But we've been manipulated to do certain celebrations and things. And it just really is upsetting. And I think these times are about bringing stuff like that to light. So then when you have really dyed in the wood, traditional type people that don't want to break traditions, come up against a revolutionary, which is what we've been going through with Uranus and Saturn and Pluto, there's going to be some arguments. There's going to be some hurt feelings, Wonder how Thanksgiving went for people around the kitchen table. You know what I mean? It's like we're into the thick of people dropping pretense, and people can do that more easily than others. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings, but don't we all just want to get down to the truth and be real? And that's this push me, pull me. It's like you go along with mom and all of her traditions because that's what she wants, or you stand for yourself and you have these, research or things you've done that you don't agree with what's going on. And it's that, and nobody wants to hurt anybody. But inevitably, it's like weddings and funerals. Somebody's always gets mad or gets their feelings hurt. You can't get a whole bunch of people together and make everybody happy. And so I guess we're in the times of figuring out who we're going to make happy. Who's going to be
I've
here for
been
you?
channeling that with my readings this week also. It's all about family get-togethers. I'm not picking up any love in the cards lately. It's all about family and friends and like group community, like pleasing people, being a people pleaser. But what about yourself,
Right.
And it's like, well, a lot of people are putting themselves on the back burner, and I'm not talking about the ones in this chat, but
Right.
a majority of people are really
Everybody here knows people that are struggling.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, they're actually, putting them, out there, instead of, making it equal amongst everyone else. And they feel like they have to, be the person to make everyone happy. Maybe that's a part of their tradition, but they can get out of it, but it's going to take a strong person to say no.
Boundaries. Yeah.
I'm not doing it this year.
Right.
Like, I have a prime example. I have a friend, and he loves Christmas every year. And it's because he's the person who brings home the bacon. His wife makes money, but it's not enough, and they have this nice house. They have, like, they do the whole traditional thing. They have friends, they have family. It's kind of like, they're in like these like nice little neighborhoods where they're always comparing, them, like, to what they have, what their friends have, and it's on social media. And my friend tells me that he hates Christmas because it's all about gift giving. And he told me what his love language is. And it's all about differences of what we think love is. And so his love language is acts of service. He
Right.
would rather do, like, like honeydew, do whatever honey wants on the honeydew list. He will do it. But when it comes to spending money, he that's where it stops,
Yeah.
like, but the his wife loves gifts. So if she likes to give gifts and she's not producing enough. So she has a limit. They've come to like a compromise
That's
where
good.
they have, like, okay, this is what we'll spend.
Your
And
allowance.
yeah, exactly. That's what it boils down to. And that's how they've handled their marriage, which has worked for the longest time, but that doesn't make him happy. Because why? There was another thing. He had expenditures on repairing his home, which I actually saw in a reading today. It was kind of weird. So it's like, he's overspent on his savings. He had house repairs. They don't have enough, to go around, not like, normal times. And it's really difficult. And so it's like different personalities clashing, and then obviously you have to think about, people's feelings,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
really
difficult.
it's difficult, right?
It is.
So the
Gemini is all about the communicator. So when things get rough like that and and how things are enveloped, the healing is the communicating, not just, huffing off out of the room
Oh
or
yeah, so that's the very mature thing that my friend does. So he'll, have a conversation with me about what is really bothering him, and then
right.
what he will do is he knows himself. He will make a list of what bothers him, and then he'll take his list and he'll discuss it with his wife. I'm like, you know what? You're a good guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else anybody says, but you're a good guy. Anybody would love to have a husband like you, you
Yeah.
know? And so yeah, it's just like there are some people out there, men, who know how to take care of those really tricky emotions, especially if the wife is all about Christmas and things like that, because I hear it every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I know. It's really interesting. I think all of us have some sort of social obligation, though, to inch along and bring out these little truths gingerly, quietly, lovingly, as best we can. It's not going to change overnight, but we can all lovingly assert, well, that's fine that you want to do that, but I really need to do this or whatever. And there's a woman that lives near me. She's like 78. She lost her husband 10 years ago. She never had kids, and her niece is, and that family is basically her family. And they live about an hour away, and she's used to every holiday, every occasion, making the trip to the niece's house. And the niece has, a son and married and in-laws and all, it's a big crowd. So she got all upset because the niece has decided to go visit her son out in Oklahoma and not have Christmas.
Oh man.
She's devastated. And of course, I'm sitting here going, change is inevitable. You
Mhm.
can't think that things stay the same always. And I know traditions are hard to change, maybe, or maybe not. I,
Mhm.
I like looking at holiday times as an opportunity to not have traditions. Do a new tradition. If your tradition has been the whole 7-course meal, try fasting. I mean, that's what I mean about everybody's little efforts collectively will make a difference. None of us are going to make any big changes by ourselves with dyed in the wool tradition, but representing that there are other ways to express whatever your religious belief is or cultural belief about holiday time, you know, I think it's a good precedent to, because when she said that, I was like, well, why are you getting so upset? That's only natural that a tradition would change. I mean, that's only natural. It would not be natural for something to stay the same year after year after year after year. And I
Mm-hmm.
think family tension starts when, somebody wants to like try a new tradition. I've seen it happen in families, like they always have the turkey, and somebody comes up with the idea, let's have a crown roast, and you always have somebody around that's going to be like, oh no, we have to have the turkey, So, you know, people and their nerves, and over the last few years of what this world has been through, there can be some very fragile nervous systems. And we have to be able to intuitively monitor how far we can push someone's comfort level who is that dyed in the wool tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you love someone and they love you, they will respect if you're expressing a genuine feeling in a calm, collected, mature way. There's no way your loved one can't respect that. And if they do, if they don't respect that, that's your answer right there anyway. So it's difficult, and it's difficult to leave family behind when you are trying to heal and break negative behavior patterns. The holidays is when it brings people together who aren't together the rest of the time. Inevitably, there's political arguments, and nowadays it's all this conjecture on the medical tyranny. There's just all kinds of things that have separated people. And I think those of us in a spiritual community, we have to find ways to keep it real, but be compassionate with empathy, and depending on the person you're dealing with, take baby steps. Like on the phone with that lady the other night, it just came out of me, and you could hear her gasp. It was like, what? I was like, come on now, don't spoil your whole rest of the year because you have to figure out something different to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you want to go eat at a restaurant? I'll go eat with you. So it's like trying to be, the calm, clear-headed one when everything else is very chaotic. People are disseminating a lot of information. Everybody's processing it differently. So I think it's our job to be mature and calm and observant, not pipe off with an opinion or what we think they should do right away, but really listen and feel intuitively what that person's feeling, because that's going to make a difference in what you say next. And sometimes you might not say anything at all. There's people I come across where it is such a tender subject for them about religion and the holidays or whatever, that if you want to maintain any semblance of a friendship, you just keep away from that subject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just back away slowly, listen. And I think that's kind of a challenge with all this energy right now, is keeping our mouth shut and listen, but it's very important. And
It's like you using your discernment to know when it's safe to
right,
open and not.
right. And
Yeah.
I know recently there's been a few instances. It was with that guy in the hallway, and I said right out loud, I was like, Christmas is a sham to me. It's superficial, it's commercial. If you study the history of how that date even came about, it doesn't even make sense. We were in a whole different calendar system than ancient times. It just doesn't even make sense, but we've built this whole industry on it. This whole economic cycle on it. And that disturbs me. But
I wonder when did we initiate Christmas as a federal holiday, or actually it's a holiday amongst everyone across the globe.
well, I was thinking of the difference between the Georgian calendar and the Julian calendar, which was like back in the 14th century or so. So it's been going
Wow.
on centuries, and different parts of the world have different stories about Saint Nick. He might not be called Saint Nick in certain cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe I've been reading too many horror stories, but there's there's a real disturbing history behind all of this. And I, I know I was with a friend of mine. We went to the Kennel Club Christmas thing, and it was a drive. It was a pretty good drive, about an hour away. And this is how I started the conversation. And she's been an old friend for a long time, and dogs is what has always bonded us. I said, what I'm getting ready to say is really hard for me to say, and it really breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart that all my life I've had a feeling about Christmas traditions that anymore I don't feel that way. And my whole preface is, this is not easy for me to feel or think either. I'm not trying to make some proclamation of it's all a bunch of crap. But I love ancient records. I love research. This has kind of been how my whole isolation and lockdown for a couple of years has been, is to read and history and things like that. And it's very disturbing. But you can't tell anybody that. And so, and at first, and she's, not totally religious, but she is about tradition and doing things the same way every year. But I prefaced it with, this breaks my heart. This isn't easy for me to say. So maybe if you have someone you feel like you can open the door a little bit, it's how we approach people. I'm not approaching it with, this is the way it is, and I think da 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 da. It's, I don't know if this is true or not, but what I've researched is deeply disturbing, and we should not be celebrating this.
Mm-hmm. So did you tell her?
Yeah. And, you heard a tiny little gasp. She was driving, so she was being distracted by driving. And so, you heard a tiny, but we've been really, if anything, she's probably the closest thing to an older sister. I never had sisters, so she's like that to me. She's like a big sister. I met her in the 90s showing dogs, and we've always had dogs in common, and we've traveled together with rescue. She does rescue dogs up and down the East Coast. That's basically all I've had is rescues until these two heathens that I have now. And so that's our bond. And we've always been able to be really real with each other and say difficult things. And that's a good place to be. Now, can't, and I feel like I can say anything to you. I might preface it with, this is not easy. I think I did that before we came on. It's like, I don't want to say anything to hurt or trigger anybody, but let's keep it real. What's really got us upset. And it's hard. It's very hard. I don't want to sit here and make it sound like this is easy stuff.
No, I mean, as a Scorpio, and I told it to you, I was like, well, bring it on, honey. Yes. I mean, like, I need it to hit in the target, know, like, there's no sugarcoating over here.
And it's not popular. See, that's the thing, when you start expressing.
That was the thing I also noticed is that I'm not the traditional tarot reader who is gonna give you the fluffy crap that I see other tarot readers offer to their people, because I think it's bullshit too. Like, and I look at like their stuff, and when I see that they read the tarot cards, okay, it kind of makes sense. But how the hell I can never pick up on that energy?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's because I see the stuff, and I mean, like, what do you want me to sugarcoat it with? I don't know why, but
I think that's a really good. I mean, it's not good to trigger people. It's not easy to be triggered,
people, and then you're like, I don't need them.
But I think that is an important role, because what I think we have to be strong about is triggers are necessary. It's the triggers that bring up the poison dart that we've been holding on to that we need to get rid of. Right.
Right.
And so it's not popular. But you know, it's just part of our mission, right? Is to try to keep it real. There are certain situations where you have to walk very gingerly because you don't want to completely um, destroy someone's beliefs in something when they're held so strongly. You know, if
Mhm.
somebody is kind of already waffling about, well, that doesn't make sense, and you know, then that's easier to say, well, and keep following that train of thought. You know, where does it take you? Try to look at it a different way. Um, and keep in mind that we've all walked in the same shoes, you know, and that's the thing is uh, we can all relate to these challenging times in life where things have been false or not what we thought they were, or like, you know, government and authority issues that not what you know, they're not looking out for us, you know, which is we've all held that, oh, it's positive and a good thing, not. And so those are hard realities. My elderly neighbor, they both love, just they go from doctor to doctor. That's their life, is they just, you know, they're in their mid 90s and their life is, I almost think it's a social thing, you know,
Mhm.
be able to go around to their different specialty offices. And he had a heart incident a couple of weekends ago. Again, he's been in the hospital on and off for the last year. So
Mhm.
last December, a doctor put a pacemaker in his chest and told him, you know, in about a year, you're going to have problems. This, you know, this will get you another year, right?
Mhm.
So that put it in his head that he was going to die in a year, that the pacemaker was good for a year. And so recently he thought that a pain in his shoulder was a heart attack, goes to the
Oh my
emergency
god.
room, and he's in the hospital, right? And his whole family gathers around and everybody's, you know, like wondering what's going to happen. And I just get angry at the medical community because I've
Uh-huh.
been in it a lot. You know, I have my own set of experiences with it. And I always try to remind people they're practicing. They're practicing.
Mhm.
And so I get on, I find him in the hospital, you know, to call him on the phone. And it just came out of me. I was almost angry about it. I said, the hell don't you let anybody tell you when your time is up. Nobody knows, you know, and it's like that's what drives me nuts about the medical community is they can't tell that person if they have another year to live or not. I don't know. I'm more holistic that way about healing. But anyway, he kind of perked up and he was like, well, thanks for saying that. And it's like he's out of the hospital. He that was a muscle spasm from a pulled muscle. You know, he's back to his yard, you know, and my point is we've been certain, you know, to a certain extent brainwashed to believe things that are not true.
Especially doctors of all people,
And
you
now
know?
all these different configurations since the Pluto conjunction bring the truth out, and it's hard truths, and they're uncomfortable and they're gnarly and they're messy, but we're navigating. Look, we've been through it. We've been through 3 years of this energy and we are out of it. Okay, it's only going to get better from here. 2023 will be much better. You know, grab your gusto to manifest what you want in your life. You want a romantic relationship, then don't set your sights on it's got to be that one or that one or that one. Work on your vibration of love, that you are vibrating love and light to attract that that like vibration. So
Mhm.
that's where humans get in the weeds, is, you know, we think we're in control and it's going to be this
Yeah.
way, and
So
the universe is like, no.
I would say for anyone that's watching this and you're so caught up on your twin flame, if your twin flame ain't here right now, then what does that tell you?
It's you know, everyone's path is different, and how
Right.
whatever gets you to purging your negative behavior patterns and opening up to seeing things from a different perspective, whatever it takes is okay. And we all get to it from a different angle, and it
Right.
never ends. That's the thing, it's ongoing. It doesn't mean like, okay, I learned that lesson, check. Okay, Saturn's going to come along and set the stage. Different people, same lesson. Did you learn your lesson? Some yes, some no. So we need to be more loving to ourselves and understanding. And if there's something difficult you need to bring up, instead of arguing or being defensive, try to say, this is hard for me to say.
Mm-hmm.
Let the person feel this is hard for you. This is not easy to tell you how freaking mad I am. Or, it's the emotional maturity that Saturn brings, which it's not easy.
And plus that actually comes with time. It's not like, something that just got whipped out of thin air. It was possibly
And,
something that you've been dealing with for a while, and
and
it's
they call
finally.
Saturn Father Time. So there you
Mhm.
go. He
Yeah.
moves slowly. He's wise. He's mature. You know, and there are positive things on the other end, but the main theme for these configurations with this full moon are about triggers. Being mindful of the triggers, sit with whatever feeling you're in, you know and certainly when you have a joyous feeling and something like, I don't know, something simple, you might see a funny sign on the road or whatever, and you kind of like feel that, oh, that was funny. Hold on to that vibration, that wonderment, that fascination, and then make that build. And the more you make that build, the less you have of the, oh, life sucks and I just don't know what
I
to
have a little funny story to share.
do. Okay.
So, I have my pug,
Yeah.
and
Moon.
yeah, so I think she picked up on a bad habit from me, and I think she learned from me. And I'm not trying to disclose a personal habit of mine, but my little puppy like was sitting on my desk, and she farted right in my
Oh,
face. And she turned around and she was like,
oh.
like,
That's funny.
because like, I mean, when
Because
I'm
she
like,
could.
yeah, and she thought she was cute, and she did a good thing.
She was going to make
So
you laugh.
she did make me laugh because I'm not gonna lie, I sit here and I walk around and I fart and like I just do it, and because I don't have nobody here, and I was like, this girl, she learned something from me. Like
That's
that's
funny.
not cute.
That's funny. Well, last night I had both my dogs at the obedience class. I've had
Hmm.
Leon 3 times there. And the lady I was telling you about, who's mortified about her tradition changing, she agreed to take Mojo so we could both be in the class at the same time. So
Hmm.
Mojo's first class, right? So I'm expecting him to be a completely freakazoid. That little dog was perfect.
Oh, little
And
Virgo
Leon
vibes,
was an
right?
idiot.
So
And
Leon is he the Gemini?
he has Leon is no, he is let me think about this. He's the Aquarius,
Oh,
and Mojo is the Virgo.
yes.
Well, Leon has attention deficit disorder. He gets into that class and he wants to, nose around every corner, every hair, he's very friendly. I mean, he just
Oh,
wants to
yeah, he's just
play and
curious and
yeah.
wants to be in
And
everybody's
but
business.
Mojo, he was like walking and prancing his stuff and standing there watching
Well,
everybody.
maybe you should show Mojo instead of
No, it's
Leon,
what
and
everybody.
little Mojo's gonna get all the ladies.
Yeah, but you know, I get angry at them, but then they do something so cute. It's like I laugh, and I've been trying to like magnifying that lighthearted vibe, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And the more you can get the lighthearted vibe through your grid and less of the dark negativity, it's contagious, it grows. So that would be a really good way to use these next couple of weeks. And we have right at Christmas Eve, December 23rd, we have the new moon in Capricorn, and
Oh.
also have the planet Chiron going direct. So we have a really interesting end of the year set up. And I think what people might notice is that families may try different traditions or may undo some of the patterns they've been used to. And, you know, that's not a bad thing.
Mhm. I agree. Like even my parents are coming to see me this Christmas. We haven't spent the Christmas in a long time, so
It's
this is
lovely.
their final before they head on out overseas. So, um, I did something new. I picked out some blank ornaments.
Oh,
So
neat.
that yeah, so that each of us, whenever they come, they can decorate their ornament,
Nice.
and I'll be able to keep it, and be like, well, this was our 2022 Christmas together. And so
Yes.
my oldest son was never into that, but now that he's older, it's time for him to participate. And
Nice.
so yeah, something different for us to really do. And um then obviously, so they're gonna be here on the 14th, and they're gonna leave on the 15th in January. So it's the day after my
Oh, my.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very curious to see like what this Capricorn energy is like, because they're gonna be here. Like
Stoic. Capricorn has a hard time taking off from work and letting down to
that
relax.
was the other thing. Yeah. So as you know, I like to work a lot, and my parents are gonna be here, and my question to myself is, do I allow myself to relax more with them? But then I have to be financially stable to, even do that. And plus, my parents, they got their own little, nest to kind of take care of, because they're going to be overseas for a whole year. So yeah, it's just like, what do I do? But I think I'll be able to manage and maintain.
Yeah, you will find some balance, make some memories with them, and it might be a good lesson to unhook from work a little bit every day for them.
Well, I've been doing it every weekend almost. Almost. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
try to take breaks, but I work a lot.
Well, I
And
think I mean, a lot of us use work to avoid sadness or to avoid
oh no,
sitting.
honey, it's not that. I legit have work, but you know that because you had work too.
Well, I mean, I'd rather be working. My mother always had this saying, if you feel a little puny or don't feel good, work it off. So, you know, I can sit and agonize over all the things that need to get done that aren't getting done, or I can go and work, get my mind off of it.
Mhm.
So,
Well, just
and
being productive doing something. It's
yeah,
like procrastinating, right?
right, right. And sometimes getting your mind off something that you're trying to work out in your mind. For me, it's usually some kind of home repair. And sometimes if I'll get my mind off of it doing something else, then clarity will come. Like, oh, okay. Just like going through some old files last night, and I came across a couple of contractors I had used in the past, and I need some electrical work. And I had forgotten about this one company that did some work for me. I remember really liking them. So I was like, I'm going to call them up again. And,
Well, if you lived in North Carolina, I have somebody.
well, I don't think they'll drive hours to get to me.
Yeah, he's in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, is it from
Mhm.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he might. I don't
I
know.
used to go to Charlotte uh, some. I had a friend that lived outside of Charlotte.
Mhm.
Actually, one of my dogs came from her. And
Oh, really?
yeah, not the dogs I have now, but a long
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a long drive.
yeah. We used to meet in Greenville, North Carolina in the Days Inn parking lot. That's how we would get rescues moved around to different foster homes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
I'm thinking about adopting another for Luna because Luna needs a friend, but I
I've
need a.
always had multiple dogs, so I'm not a good influence to convince you not to. Oh my God.
I need a bigger place before I do that, so
I
I'll have to
know.
wait. But yeah, I'm thinking about the next one will be one from like a shelter or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you never know. They find you, I think, somehow. There's like a psychic connection with our animals in our life, I've always felt.
Oh, yeah.
Not having much luck with psychically getting Leon to act right in class, but I'll say, "You're with me, you and me. Stop looking over there."
Uh-huh.
Go everywhere. I was like, "This kid has he has an attention disorder of some sort."
Do
But
you have
everybody
treats?
was,
Do you have treats with you all the time?
yeah, yeah.
You got to find him the treat that he'll really go nutsoid over.
No. Well, one way I was getting a little done last night was crinkling the bag in my pocket. That
It
attracted.
makes it sound like
What you got? But only for a nanosecond. It didn't last.
Luna, she knows how to jump on my bed now. And
Oh,
so she'll purposely get off the bed and she'll bark at me until I give her the attention. And I'm like, what do you want? I said, go ahead and jump on the bed. And so lately I've been giving her cashews. Um,
yeah.
and so I fake put a cashew on the bed and she jumped up on the bed to see if it was there. She was like sniffing around and she was like, what, where is it? Where is it? I'm like, you little heifer. I was like, there is no goddamn cashew. Like, and then she wanted to jump off the bed to see if I'll give her another, like the real thing. I'm like, no.
One of the girls in class uses apple.
Oh,
She'll
well,
suck on a piece of apple in her mouth and let the dog like nibble on it. He likes that.
mm,
Um,
I know. Luna, she likes broccoli, steamed broccoli, the stalky part, not
well,
the.
that'll give her some gas.
Oh, it's oh, is that right? I just
Yeah.
thought about that. That could have been that time. Okay, so we're gonna do the zodiac signs.
We are. We are. I have this one, Star Codes Astro Oracle by
And then,
Heather Roan Robbins.
so I am gonna go with the wisdom of the House of Night,
Nice.
because I've been feeling dark lately.
It's okay. Just feel whatever you feel and sit with it till you feel differently.
That's right. It's
That's right.
sunshiny
Yeah.
and great.
Keep it simple, sugar.
That's right. Okay, so Aries, what is your energy? What do you need to know? Oh, I have honesty.
Oh, I have Scorpio. Investigate.
Wow.
Whoa,
I,
Aries.
I know, right? So,
I don't know. You might need to look into something, something, something.
mhm. Yeah, maybe it's time to be honest and get down to the depths. Um, kind of like look for the truth and be real. Now, like Aries, I really feel like Aries, they like to run from their problems sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Very
And so,
childlike.
yeah, so it's time to like just really hunker down, ground
Get down
yourself,
to the
and like
bottom line.
just sit still,
Yeah.
uncuff yourself.
Yeah. Get down to the bottom line.
Hmm.
Oh, so you have Taurus,
Yeah, I have Taurus.
and I got Mercury messages for Taurus.
Okay, so well, that's the energy that we're kind of going through, right? With
Yeah,
Gemini.
it is.
Oh, I have understanding.
Oh, so maybe some information coming through for Taurus to bring clarity. With Neptune going direct, that should bring some clarity on things, especially when it comes to seduction or anything that's been kind of foggy or unclear.
Yeah, so I mean, Taurus is really good at like,
Banking,
yeah, doing that. And
the
maybe
arts.
I really feel like this is about their sense of stability and what they need to work on also. So maybe they're very clear of what their next step should be.
This could be getting their resume together because, you know, always being ready for information. Mercury bringing them messages for maybe advancement or enhancing their environment or meeting new love. You know, Taurus is Venus. It's about love and money.
Yeah, and you have like the caduceus over there. I don't know what that is. It's like a snake and something else.
It looks like two pissed off swans intertwined with a snake.
That sounds like a party.
That sounds like a twin flame symbol there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I couldn't tell like what to
Angry
make out of them.
swans with snakes wrapped around them.
Yeah, I know. And the
I don't
snake.
want to go there. That's not. I'm not going to say. That's not going to be nice. What I say. Play nice.
All right. So next we have Gemini.
Oh, and the full moon in Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! I pulled Gemini cross pollinate.
So I pulled out two cards and it says an oath and fulfillment. So maybe
Ah,
you're gonna fulfill like something that you've,
a promise.
yeah.
Cross pollinate. That might be that mentor or teacher coming from somewhere to help you accomplish that new thing.
I don't know. When I see cross pollination, that's like co-creation.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Gemini should be really busy here with the full moon. They should be really, you know, probably their social calendar overflowing and tasks overwhelming and
People to see, places to go.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, next we have Cancer.
Ah, asteroid. Oh, this is Vesta. She's the goddess of the hearth, which Cancer is all about home and family. So Cancer may be sticking closer to home
And I see love.
and love. Oh, and the
Hmm.
fire. We got a heart and the flame here. So
There's something in that heart. Oh, it's a moon. Interesting. And there's a string that's tugging at the heart.
aw,
So maybe you love the home.
yeah. Cancer would. This would be a lot of baking and cooking and bringing people together and family and bringing people together and family with food.
That sounds good. I could use some.
Nurturing.
Yeah, I don't know what's a good holiday cookie.
Well, the first I love cookies, but snickerdoodles are pretty benign. You know, they're not chocolate and they're not peanuts, so they, you know, a lot of people can eat them. They're like cinnamon and sugar. And then, but I was thinking peanut butter cookies.
I was thinking about making snowball.
Oh yeah,
I
any
don't,
cookie will do.
I got a sweet tooth. That's why I was asking. Like,
Well, you can never go wrong with good old Toll House.
I haven't had Toll House in a long time.
Love Toll House. Oatmeal.
I have a
You're on
lot.
Leo, right?
Yeah, I got
Oh,
4 cards that came out for Leo.
wow. Tell me about it. Tell me
What
what's
it
going on. This is
oh,
Aquarius. Collaborate.
okay. So I have confidence, which is searching, maybe searching for confidence, and also about beauty. And then we have movement, and then we have denial.
Hmm. So Leo might be separating from something. Aquarius is the opposite, Leo's opposite. So oppositions can mean, you know, something leaving. It could mean having a tooth taken out, something leaving. It could be having a baby.
Interesting. I really feel that maybe you have to build up your confidence to feel like you are beautiful. Maybe this is like pride or like like being self-conscious.
Leos are very shy and self-conscious.
Yeah, I really feel like that's what's going on. Maybe I don't know, maybe it's not feeling good, but I feel like there's a little bit there, and you have collaborate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll take someone to give Leo confidence.
Yeah, like
Collaboration on something that helps them feel more secure.
yeah, maybe it's gonna take like a friend or somebody to give you that boost of confidence to move
But
things forward.
the water bearer, this is like sharing ideas and creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have Virgo. Virgo.
Oh, I got Taurus. It says cultivate.
Hmm. And then I have a reminder. Don't
Another,
forget.
another earth energy. So very earthy, stable, stubborn.
Yeah. Also, it's about making a decision and what is it that you want to work on so you can complete that cycle. So remember you were talking about like, things that are placed on the back burner
Yeah.
and now it's like time to kind of like,
Bring
work
it
on those
forward
things.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't forget, really cultivate, those ideas to get it done before the end of the year, right?
Well, and in certain parts of the world, you could be planting. You could
Okay, yeah.
planting in the earth,
Mhm.
cultivating.
Okay. So
Or
next,
even in areas where you can't plant outside, what I was first seeing was like indoor um, gardening with like pots of herbs.
I need to do that because it's cold where I'm at, and I think my plants died. I didn't bring them inside this year. So, so for Libra, I have here chaos.
And I have Jupiter, abundance. So, boy, Libra's social calendar is going to be off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of opportunities.
But there might be a way that they might overthink it and mess things up. Is what I'm feeling. I mean, it is a possibility. I see here, like, there's like this thing.
Tornado.
Yeah. Yeah, if they can like get past that, then they'll be all right.
Yeah.
I feel. Okay.
Yeah, this is the planet Jupiter with a lot of food around it. So Libra wants to watch their waistline.
Oh my god, can't let that on.
Remittance fasting.
Yeah, I need to fast, but I want to eat. So next we have Scorpio. Yeah, look at that. As I said that, we have self-worth.
Oh, I have Aries act.
act on, just yourself. Like, how do you feel?
Yeah. Give yourself value.
Yeah, like you are worthy. Act like it. Maybe like Scorpio's so like down in the dumps, like, they kind of forget like they need to take care of themselves.
Well, an Aries would be, get out of the routine, do something compulsive and fun and childlike. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and represents children. That's why they can be compulsive, and they age very well. They always have a childlike energy about them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
maybe Scorpio needs to like go kick up with her heels at a country western dance.
Do some line
I
dancing.
don't know why that came to me.
I ain't gonna lie. I had a gentleman that wanted to marry me. And I don't know why I think it's just because he's drunk, but every time when he goes down to the bar, he'll
Yeah.
always call me when it's, quitting time, which is around 2:30. And he's like, "I love you." I was like, "You always call me when you're drunk, but you don't invite me to the damn
At
line dance."
2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and he was a cute little cowboy. He had green eyes and,
Aw.
like brown, I mean, it was like brownish, blondish hair. And he's a short guy. He's not like,
I
tall.
saw this interview with the country singer Luke Combs recently,
Mhm.
and he's not all that old, but he said, like he was still sitting around his mother's house at age 21. And his mother was just like, play the guitar, get out of here, do something. So,
Mhm.
like, he started learning the guitar and playing kind of, older. And now he's like this huge, mega successful songwriter, singer.
Oh, that's a good story. Yeah.
Uh, I think his message was, it's never too late to learn an instrument or to, do something like that.
Well, now's the perfect time to be learning.
It is.
Yeah.
Or a new language.
Mhm. So next we have Sag.
Saggy, yeah. Let's see. We have Venus in Sag right now, and this says conjunction or alliance. So,
Hmm.
boy, Sag is kind of a mover and shaker.
Mhm.
So, this could mean um, meeting somebody that helps with that project, or even meeting a new love interest. Sag always wants their freedom. That's their problem in relationships, is they always want to be free.
Mhm. I do have here High Priestess of the Earth. So this is like a feminine energy that is connected to grounding. So maybe there's something that where Sag is going to cross paths with somebody that is going to really bring it home to
Yeah,
them.
clip their wings, make them want to be steady, and
Yeah,
and
not fly away.
also high priestess to me would mean higher education. Possibly traveling to some country to learn a new culture, or someone from another country being in their life currently to teach them, you know, new language, new, I want to say, cooking elements from other countries.
Hmm. From what I can remember for Sag is that um, there is a delay for them to travel, but they eventually will. Or there is a stipulation that Sag is going to have an altercation with their family. But yeah, so.
Well, Venus is squaring this new moon. Venus in Sag is squaring this Gemini full moon and Mars. And squares are usually like getting fired up, like, and also being hard on themselves. So,
I think they'll be all right because as far as I've read, Sag this year, Sag has been the top contender for, having like I don't know the best
perfect
outcome.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's up with Sag this year, but it seems like it's their year. I don't
Yeah.
know. So next we have Capricorn.
Ah, this is very Capricornian. Chiron, heel.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that.
Chiron goes direct with our next new moon in Capricorn in a couple of weeks, right at Christmas.
Mm-hmm. And I have playful.
So, hey, we were just talking about Capricorn taking a little downtime to play.
What? What are you talking about? We don't know how to play.
What is that? A snake? Two snakes?
Yeah, it looks weird, doesn't it? It's like the bug.
Kundalini. This would be Kundalini. You know,
Oh, I
um,
see.
sometimes getting out of the routine of work and just opening up some time maybe can activate dormant
Creativity.
Kundalini. Yeah.
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 Sounds good. Maybe I'll do that.
Or even just take a different route, from point A to B. If you always go one way, like get lost and take another way. In fact, that's how I found my first house, is I took a different route between home and work. And they say do that every once in a while. Just break up your routine. You never know what you might find.
Okay. All right. Next, we have Aquarius.
Oh, wow. Aquarius, Venus, beloved.
Oh my gosh, I have complicated.
Oh, is Aquarius messed up in a complicated love situation?
I don't know, but it does seem like there is a blockage here. It's kind of entangled. And it's kind of ironic. Do you see like it has a circle here?
I know, and this does too.
Yeah, so what is yours? It looks like blossoms, but what's on the ends? Oh, Venus is in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And circles or eggs represent completion.
I'll say in a birth, like a baby.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Maybe somebody got pregnant and that's why it's
It's a
complicated.
soap opera.
I know, right? I
Aquarius
mean,
is having
that's
a
not for
soap
everyone, but yeah,
Yeah.
just saying. Could be a possibility.
Yeah.
All right, finally we have Pisces.
You said your dad's a Pisces? Or
Oh, my brother. My dad's a Taurus.
yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, for Pisces, I'm getting Virgo and it says digest.
I could say some things about my brother. It's like, don't choke on your steak, okay? Well, we have confidence here on my side.
Oh.
Hmm.
Pisces looks like maybe they're getting kind of serious here with this earthy kind of energy and getting some stuff done, focusing maybe.
Maybe yeah. So my brother is actually taking a test to get his license. So he could be digesting information.
Lots of studying and
Yeah, and then it's going to weigh in on his confidence. Can he do it? It's a lot. But if he does get it, then he'll be getting like a six-figure paying job, six-figure salary job. So that's good.
yeah, we need nurses in this world, that's for sure.
Yeah, he told me that he likes his adrenaline to be pumped. I'm like, okay. So he wants to be like, where I guess
Emergency.
the
Yeah,
heart surgeon thing, or like in the ER, like dealing with trauma patients.
yeah,
So yeah.
adrenaline.
Yeah, he just likes the rush.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Yeah, so that's what I have. All right, so let's see what is going on here in the chat. Aquarius, Puss in Boots. Sorry you have to go. Much love. Let's have an Xmas party in the next 2 weeks. Well, yeah, so I was thinking about doing like a little giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know how to do this. I need time to figure it out. And I want to do like a couple of prizes where it's like a free reading, and also I have my lovely bath bomb sets, and I'll probably enter in like another gift like the sage bowl and sage wands that
Wasn't
I have.
like a software platform you were looking at doing that?
Oh, I don't know.
How
Oh,
what you, there was a link you
oh,
sent.
okay. So I wanted to entertain the idea of having a Chinese gift
Right.
exchange.
Right.
So the way that that works is that for everyone that participates, like the gift is like usually around $25. So it's not like, there's like expensive gifts in the mix, but they're all the same. But the thing is that, you pick a number and number one goes first and you pick the gift, and then number two comes up and they pick the gift, and they have the option if they want to steal number one's gift or not. Number one gets to open the gift, so everyone gets like a peek at what's inside. So the thing is that you can go around the whole, like let's say there's 20 people that participates. You can only steal a gift 3 times. After the third time, you can't steal it anymore. It's like it's a done. So you want to be that third person if it's a really good gift, where someone likes to steal. So I wanted to do that, but I was thinking it would be better if that was more of a physical like gathering. That way, like we could actually do it together in person. It would be very difficult to do that idea online, because I would be the one that would have to pick the
Right.
number for the people, and they can't pick their number. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's not fair. Like, and I wanted it to be something fun like that, but I'll figure it out. So yeah. So I'll try to do that, and basically I'll have like a live where I can just do like one question,
Well, you
readings.
know, what I've seen online for dog rescue organizations is like an auction. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll put up several items and give, like a 2 or 3 hour period for people to bid on. I'm trying to think. It is through Facebook, but then she also does it through her website. It's called Mona Pants Foundation. It raises money for dog rescue. She'll
Mm-hmm.
put together, all kinds of different things, earrings and mittens and, totally unrelated stuff, candles. And it has a set period of time to give people a chance to bid and a set cutoff time. And whoever has the highest bid on the item, she sends it out to them. So I don't know if some kind of auction with a set time beginning and end.
That's too much. Like I want to be quick and easy,
Yeah.
I think that if I go live, I want to interact with the people that are there, because then I don't have to chase people. Like let's say that
Right.
they make a participant, because I've done this plenty of times of all the years I've been on YouTube. Yeah, one time on a video, I would say, write one good thing about, your twin flame, and then I would enter in that person's name, and then in the following video, or if I go live, I'll draw that person's name, and that person will have a time limit. Like if they don't receive their gift by
Oh,
Friday, then I'll go pick someone else, right? But there are times where I would pick people and they won't show up, and I'm like, I'm not sitting here trying to chase after people. Like if y'all don't want the gift, don't get the gift. Like
yeah.
So I
Right.
don't know. I think I want to do it live. Um, that way, when the people who come on and they're
What
like, well, how do
about like a Zoom classroom where everybody's live at the same time?
I can do that, but I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I mean,
You got a lot of possibilities.
right? I still have time. We're still early in the month, but I would like to do this before next week because my parents come on the 14th, which is a week from now. I might do it this weekend. I don't know. Like, I want to do this before they come so that they're not in my business. They're like, well, what are you doing over there? We're having fun online. It's
Yeah.
nothing that you need to be concerned with. But yeah, I've always wanted to do something
Or
nice.
how about I was thinking, I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning and saw your text and I wrote you back, let me think on that because I was too groggy
Early.
about it. But one of the things, and I'm just going to kind of piece this together and say it as I'm trying to formulate it. It may not make any sense, but something like submissions, and you kind of said it a minute ago, like, what's the lesson you've learned from the twin flame journey? Like,
Hmm.
everyone submit two or three ideas or thoughts on their take because there are so many different opinions and information
Yeah,
out
so
there.
I would use that and kind of like talk about them
Yeah,
and
yeah,
define.
and then randomly pick out of out of a hat to give a gift or three gift, whatever, but just like randomly pick from whoever made a submission, because it's personal. They're sharing something really close to them, and that's the prize. Is you are, and it's random, so you're not. But then you still have the issue of trying to run somebody down if you can't find them.
It's only happened a few times, but whenever that does, it's like the more longer that I have this channel, it's like, where are they? Like, I'm not gonna flag them down, you know. So yeah, I don't know, honey. I don't know. I think I might just go live, and then once I go live, because I've done this before too, um, I'll just do like free readings for everyone. And if
Oh
they
yeah,
submit a donation, and it could be any amount, I would take that person's name and draw it. That way I know that they're committed some way. They made some kind of contribution.
yeah.
That way I can get their name and
And would that go to the organization that plants a tree or
Mhm.
an
Well, so
incentive?
yeah, the onetreeplanet.org, I automatically do that. Like, if somebody purchases any bath products from me, I'll
Right.
just take $1 from their order and donate it so that they actually contribute to planting a tree. And so, yeah, I've been doing that.
That's incentive is to say what's the money going, because we're at the end of the year where people are, donating more to charity and
Mhm, mhm. Oh, okay, yeah, so just use that as another incentive to, hey, we're
yeah,
doing our part and
or
planting.
raise it for pug rescue.
No, honey.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, fart rescue. Like,
Digestive studies of flat-faced dogs.
oh, okay, yeah. Mm, I love my dog.
I
Mm,
love dogs too.
I know. All right, I want to get off. So let's see here. Is there anything? Okay, for the ones that are still here in the chat, do you have any questions for Sunny at this time? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, I would invite everyone to come to lionmountainhealing.com and push on shop, and it'll take you to my Etsy shop where I've got some vintage jewelry and a whole mishmash of items, handbags, figurines, silver, gems,
Oh, you know what? I saw those bird earrings.
the cardinals.
No, these look like totem birds.
Oh, right, the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I want those.
you do?
Yeah, I was looking at them the other day. It's not for me, it's for a friend of mine because she likes that. I
Mhm.
think that's the perfect gift for
They
her,
are
so
vintage. They're very nice. Yeah.
okay, yeah, those are mine. Well, I'll keep them, but,
Okay. Well,
I'll have to remember to get off and, like, purchase it.
it's interesting. Some of the items that have been popular have been coffee mugs. Uh,
Oh.
like yesterday, I sent one out that was for an Air Force base. I've had them with birds on them. Um, I just, always collected coffee mugs whenever I traveled or, did something special. And I just put them up there because I thought, well, they're inexpensive, they're easy to ship. Somebody might connect something special with somebody. So I have not put up much Christmas stuff. I recently visited a lady's house connected to dog rescue who's downsizing and moving, and brought home some different, I told you, the iron bank and
Oh, yeah, the pig stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
pigs and some artwork. But I really want to clean it nice. I've been reading about getting dust off of iron, and basically they recommend just a damp cloth. And so, yeah,
You can
it's,
get, like, one of those the computer sprays and
oh, right. Yeah. I have some of that, the canned air.
yeah.
Yeah.
See if that gets it if it's, like, really tiny, like, crevices and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's a great idea. I've sold out. I had a bunch of one pattern in particularly of the pink depression glass that's gone, but I do have two or three other patterns of depression glass to get up there. Um, let's see. I see a question. If DM is getting craving, will I, and vice versa?
If DM is giving craving, will I Oh, okay. So if her, divine
More
masculine
specific.
is craving
About food,
other
or what exactly are you talking about craving?
I think craving other people, then will she, actually
Okay,
in turn
here.
feel the same?
I got lights like those little circle hanging ones today. Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, are we talking about a food craving or a body craving? What kind of craving are we talking about? Bad stuff.
Oh, okay, drugs.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Again, that's like everybody's got an opinion. Yeah. Are you picking up on him psychically? I will tell you, when my dad was a heavy smoker and he went on oxygen after a heart attack and had lung cancer and quit smoking, and I started, and I always felt like I was picking up on his craving to smoke. So I'm sure it's definitely possible, but be strong and don't.
You got this, girl, you don't need that stuff.
Oh, you worry that he might. So I would send him prayers for healing. And regardless of anything that's happened in your past, just try to keep positive vibes towards him, that, whatever he's struggling with, that he gets the help he needs. And, um, that's where it comes down to that forgiveness. If someone what was that? Someone did you wrong love song. What was that old song? Somebody did you wrong. Anyway, you don't want to hear me singing. I'm digressing now.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
And but yeah, I would just try to send him healing light, not obsessively or anything, but just when you think of him with a light heart, and ask the divine order to send him assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And then he's got to figure it out. He's got to probably bottom out and decide that having a better way is his choice. So that's the frustrating thing about loving someone and watching them hurt themselves is, we can't affect that, but to so much, other than try not to harbor any negative feelings about it. If he will struggle, and even if he might, I think. Yeah, everybody yeah. Sensitive people worry. Yeah, that is the lesson. He needs to help himself. You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Hard stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, sometimes we can't save everybody.
Right. We have to focus on what do we need to feel stability and love, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any other questions that other people might have in the chat?
I appreciate everyone's time this evening. I think it's pretty cagey, edgy times to be alive.
Oh, I know. I felt it. Thank you, girls. Yeah, like my last Instagram quote I wrote. Yes.
I don't have Instagram.
I
Sorry.
forgot. Hold on. Let me pull up because, girl, I got.
I don't have Twitter. I don't tweet. I barely have a LinkedIn. I think I have 2 followers.
Oh, she wrote, often people can help themselves better than you. Give them that opportunity, even if that makes you uncomfortable.
Excellent advice. Not actually my name. Excellent.
Mhm.
And that was at 9:22. Good number. 9:22.
Oh, I have 624 on my side. That's off by 2 minutes. Huh.
Now it says 9:23, so it was right on the edge. I
Okay.
hope that everyone uses the energy to learn something new and take an opportunity to speak their truth in a kind and gentle way.
It's 7 o'clock where you're at?
I'm at 9:24.
I'm at 624. She says she's at 7. She's in
We are multi-time zones.
yeah, she's in South Dakota, I believe. Right? Girl, I don't know. I'm like my sense of
Maybe Mountain Central Time, something like that.
isn't that like an hour off? Not like a half hour?
Yeah, it
Mountain.
is hours. Yeah.
What in the hell?
Yes.
Girl, 30 minutes off though. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Twill all be okay. We're getting better and better and stronger and wiser and more tolerant.
Mm-hmm. 7 something, yes. Okay, got it. All right. So if anybody else don't have any questions, then I guess we can cut it off here. Um, and enjoy the rest of our full moon in Gemini.
Yes. And
And
we'll figure out something for new moon in Capricorn, and I'll keep an eye out for your live to party.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to kick them out. So Well, it's a Christmas Eve, so I don't know what
It's
we're doing.
Christmas Eve Eve.
Eve.
Yeah,
Okay, the day before.
Friday, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
1 degree Capricorn. Ooh, that's even more
oh,
intense.
so 23rd.
Yes.
I don't know when my kids get out of school. I think it might be the 19th,
Ooh.
or maybe hopefully it's the 16th, another week and some change.
Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm ready to see 2022 leave.
Me too. I'm ready for 2023. I'm ready for new energy. I'm so
Yes.
done with this year. I don't know why I feel like that, but I don't really care
It's
too
sort of a
much.
culmination of, 3 years between 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So we're through the
Well,
worst. Through
that
the
that was
worst.
that was the beginning of when I started the channel. I started in 2018.
Okay. Well, it was December of 2019 with the Pluto conjunction.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that because a lot of personal stuff that happened in my twin flame journey started going downhill. Like what the but now we're out of it and I'm feeling pretty good. So that's a
It's
good
just
thing.
a matter of perspective and how you want to look at it. And everything is as it should be and in divine timing. And just hold on to those upbeat vibes and try to magnify them. Try to, when you do have that genuine moment of purity, capture, put it, envision it and see it expand in your vibration, and you'll feel better and better.
Oh yeah, I do, honestly. It's just I think I had that revelation last night when I saw like those pieces of information. And so I guess that was that whole Gemini aspect that was like touching base,
Yeah,
dealing with my Scorpio,
right.
wanting to like,
Don't let it affect you.
oh no, I'm gonna let it go. It's better to me.
I'm not crazy about Tyler Perry, but he does that character Medea,
Mm-hmm.
woman Medea, and
Mm-hmm.
one of her routines was about relationships, and she was like, if that person walks out of your life, then you just let them. Why do you want to beg somebody to stay in your life if they want to walk? And that's so true. That's brutal, but it's true. And you know I just look at things like that as whatever you're feeling, it's from other planes of time. It's from knowing that soul other times, and we have to be able to keep it in perspective about our here and now. What is our here and now?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever was then is not here and now.
Mm-hmm.
So why obsess over anything that doesn't bring you joy, or if they're trying to tear you down, or, um, you know,
Well, I think like the whole COVID thing didn't help for a couple years.
yeah,
Mhm.
at all. Other than it may have helped in that bringing some things to light that we all need to see and figure out.
Yeah, I think that yeah, we had our time to do the processing of like what works, what didn't work.
Yeah,
And now that we're kind of getting some way to kind of
information. Yeah, get some
yeah,
information.
we can push it forward. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
all for it. 2023, yay!
yeah.
Yay! I'm ready. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone go. Maybe, oh, hold on, let's see here. You got yourself a slice of tiramisu. I can't,
Tiramisu, I think.
oh, oh. can't believe Christmas is coming, and then maybe reunite. But I'm good solo too. I hate my moods though. I'm so moody and just not happy. Get the blues. Yeah, join the club, honey. And then yeah, last time I really spoke to DM. I said I think he might want to see other people. He said okay, and such a happy tone, and you were just heartbroken. Yeah.
Well, that's what we were talking about, sitting with the feeling so that it can transmute. We can't gloss it over or deny it. You know, a
I mean,
Buddhist
he could
monk
have
once.
been hiding his truth also by his laughter. Like, that's not a hard, I mean, that's not an easy thing to hear. Like, how about you go look, date other people? And then he's like, ha ha ha, yeah, okay,
Well,
okay, like, you know.
another perspective on looking at a heartbreak is um, it's your heart opening. And maybe having that experience with that person is what it took to shake you alive, to feel. You
Mhm,
know, maybe we've all been walking around like zombies most of our lives and needed something to shake us to want to feel alive.
mhm.
So, whenever I, in my head, think about feeling heartbroken, I remember this Buddhist monk telling me it's a heart opening. And so, if we walk around our lives like zombies or sleeping dead and don't feel, then of course it's going to hurt to feel because our heart's been insulated and not really functioning in life, right? We've
Mm.
just been walking through the paces, walking through the motions. So we're here as humans to feel human emotion, and the heart is central to that. So try to look at it a different way. I'm not saying that's easy. Maybe meditate and really feel that pain in your heart. You know, like sit with it for a few minutes and bring in divine light to surround your heart and your body. And I promise you, you'll feel better after that.
Yeah, she had
It's
mentioned that.
taking the time to do it. You know, we all want to, we're hurried and we want to brush things aside and I'll deal with that later. And, you know, let me be distracted. And so, that's the energy we're in is, you know, sit with whatever feeling you have. Certainly if it's a joyous type of buoyancy, try to magnify that, you know,
Mhm.
and remember that feeling. So when you get moody or blue, you can like, but I was buoyant. I felt better, and just bring your vibration up. It really is the power of our mind. And don't let anyone steal your joy. If they want to walk out of your life, let them. You don't want to have someone that you have to beg to love you, you know, or never know where they are or who they are with. You know, I mean, you just, none of us need that kind of deception in a romantic relationship or in a work relationship or a family. I mean, this is across the board intimacy on all levels with different types of relationships. And
The
it's
problem is that really addressing, like, the childhood wounding that
yeah,
that individual had suffered and not really realizing or recognizing that that actually affects them in their way of making decisions in their,
right.
present life. And so it takes time because, like I was telling you, I was going through like a lot of hypnosis sessions. I mean, it's been more than one. I've been doing it like almost every other week, just going under hypnosis and really addressing, issues of feeling like, why am I not the one that's chosen? How come, I don't have a good relationship with other people? Like, what is it that's preventing me to really move things forward? And I don't recognize it until I go under. And that's the beauty of the whole hypnosis situation. It's like until we sit still with
Hmm.
ourselves and go into deep meditation, and really, if you have a voice that you could speak out loud while you're doing this,
Yeah,
it actually helps. But if you have someone to talk to you and say, well, how do you feel, about this
right.
then at least you have like somebody to help you out. But if you don't,
And you're
you
releasing it, by sitting with it and acknowledging it, you're transmuting it. And
know,
it doesn't heal overnight. Some of these wounds we've carried thousands of lifetimes.
yeah, it takes work, and you have to really want to work on yourself. That's when you know that it's going to be beneficial. So yeah.
Well, everybody's on their own individual path, and we just need to be mindful of not passing judgment. Somebody talking about something was done to them, and I said to him, well, maybe you did it to them in another life. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have control of how good or bad we feel. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but we just have to decide that we want more moments feeling good than not. But when the
Right.
bad feelings come, to try to sit with them and get to the root of what it is.
Yeah, it's
Could
always
be
good
something
to.
like, your mother didn't spend enough time with you when you were young, or, you didn't feel loved or hugged, or, I mean, it can be really easy things, but it festers over time. And then adult relationships add to, the other experiences. So I,
Mhm.
I feel, and again, it's just my opinion, that, it may take your whole life to heal. I mean, everybody
Mhm.
just wants to heal. And it's like, well, how do you do that when it's been a multitude of layers of consciousness that you're trying to clear?
And really just really be open that y- there is something that you need to work
And
on
it's
because.
okay,
Mhm.
and you can come to groups like this and just be real with how it feels. It does hurt, and we are moody, and we are trying to do our best, and trying not to judge, and trying not to project, and but it's a human experience. So we're all gonna we got this. And that what you said a minute ago? We got this.
Yeah, not actually her name. We're all going through this moody ass energy, and that's okay. So just take your salt bath, and
Yes.
and like make sure you feel good when you take your shower, and make sure you release, do the visualization of letting it all go down the drain. You know,
Yes.
and tomorrow's a new day.
That's
Shoot.
right. Tomorrow will be better. Things never change, never stay the same. And that's what is permanent. And
Mhm.
that's very reassuring, really, when you think about it. You might
Mhm.
feel crappy one day, and then you can realize, well, I can't feel crappy like this all the time. Tomorrow will be better.
And plus, if we're in that Gemini energy, we're gonna get flippy anyways.
Yeah.
You're like, "I'm
Yeah.
fucking moody."
That's a
Oh,
good
she's like, "Ah,"
that's a good
watching it.
word for it, flippy. I like That's a very good word for it.
Yeah, so it'll be alright, as soon as we get off, then you might, change your mood anyways.
Yeah. And watch the diet. A lot of sugar can affect depression and
Well,
negative
actually,
feelings.
of the nervous system too, which I
Yeah.
was talking about, like, snowball cookies, like but I need that sugar rush,
There's
I'm
a
not
fine
gonna.
balance there. It's like
Yeah,
ritual therapy.
that made perfect sense because this morning I had my usual cup of coffee, and thank you, not actually my name for your coffee, but I just wanna let you know, honey, I like dark roast coffee. Just saying, she gave me medium roast, but I had my dark roast coffee this morning, and I definitely felt like I'm not saying jitters, but I could tell the caffeine was, like, really, strong, and I didn't drink much water this morning, so that could have been the whole and then I might have had, like, a little bit of, like, acid reflux, because of but I drink dark coffee, so I don't understand why, but I think it was because I didn't drink water. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Fine
So.
balance. And we're more and more fragile and balanced all the time with all the different energy intensities.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I want to tell, not actually my name. My son tried your coffee, and so he liked it. But we both like the dark roast. Just letting you know. So yeah. Anyway, I just want to say that
Well, good times, and we'll reconvene this madness soon.
before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So again, if you guys want to book a reading with Sunny, go to linemountainhealing.com. If you're interested in her
I'd love to do
Etsy,
it. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and check it out. She has a bunch of antiques there. Etsy.com/shop/Lion Mountain Relics. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for your time. Be
Yes.
blessed.
All right.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.